Elise, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you would please remain standing as we remember those who have lost their lives across the seas in defense of our country, as well as those here at home. We especially remember here at home Julie DeWitt, Harriet Perry, and Thomas Kelly. Thank you. We've talked about it a lot over the last 3 years. When you hear these names of people that we've lost, the one big thing that comes to mind is involvement. And I was just talking to Mr. Graber today outside the library, and he was telling me that he believes he's the youngest member of the Fort Montgomery Battle Site Association. For those that know Mr. Graber, wow.
I'm younger than he is.
Oh, Charlie is younger, and she's part of the, we got to make sure he knows that. But very, very few middle-aged, younger adults here in the community are involved. I'm very happy to see a couple here tonight that we'll be introducing later. But that is a plea that we have to put out there. It's you don't start getting involved at 60 or 70. Mr. Graber, all these people, all our people involved, a majority of people involved with Vision, the Garden Club, the majority of groups in our community now that are in their 60s and 70s, they started in their 20s. They started in their early 20s, late 20s. And they've been doing it for 50 years. You don't have to wait. You don't need to be 100% involved 6 days a week. If you could do 1 day a month, if you could do something to get involved, it not only helps out the community, but it makes you more a part of the community. I was talking to Mr. Carigliano this weekend at the collectibles event at the library, and that's another thing we have to deal with is communication. Our paper's great, we've got Channel 23, but it just seems even though things go in, people don't know. What a fantastic event it was this past weekend at the library. Some really, really neat stuff. And I'm hoping we can get them again rather than a whole year later. But I was talking to Mr. Carigliano, and he said that it's one time that he gets to actually be in the community. He works 6 days a week, 12 days. He's in and out. It's a rarity that he actually gets to be with people in the community. So he forced himself and made time to not only be there, but participate in the collectibles event at the library, just so he could be more part of the community. And that's really why we're here. So please think about getting more involved and becoming part of the community. So to start tonight off, I would like to introduce a few people in the audience. First off, with 38 years in and going strong, I would like to introduce Nancy Kozlowski. Oh, you can make some noise out there. It's okay. Come on now. Come for the camera. Nancy is the coordinator for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And when I say 38 years in, she's been doing that for 38 years. And many years in our community right here, she has been helping to organize and have mentors for our children, mainly through the cadet program. Nancy, if you could, come on up to the mic and just give us a brief history of your program. And the other reason Nancy's here is we are in the middle of budget, and she wanted to make sure we didn't forget about her. during the budget process.
Definitely, I'm not such a mic person, but Big Brothers Big Sisters has had an association with West Point, actually.
Don't, Nancy, don't hate me. The mic's not for these people. It's for the,
Oh,
it's for
so you
that.
want
So
me
if you
closer?
can, just a little
Okay.
closer, thank you.
Okay, so Big Brothers Big Sisters has had an association with West Point since 1978. And back in about 2000, the call was made from the community to look at the needs of the local youth and how we could support those needs. And Big Brothers Big Sisters came to be in this community a little more closely knit between Highland Falls and West Point, in that we had an office above Village Hall for a while. We had a youth leadership group. We had our cadets beginning to get ingrained in the community by coming into the intermediate school and mentoring children at school, and then also meeting them up with them on post. So mentoring is something that's very transformational in the life of a child. When someone can have a caring adult support person, it changes them. It helps guide them. It helps them vision what's possible. It uplifts them. And I wish you could see the joy on the kids' faces when the cadets walk into the library at the intermediate school, when Rachel Franco, our staff member, is there, and the connection that they have with one another. I want to be able to introduce my cadets so that you can learn a little bit firsthand from them. But it's been a joy to run the program, and it makes a great impact in your community. And the funds that you provide us are very much needed, but they're only a portion of the funds required to run the program. We have a staff member that's dedicated. In the fall, when we're recruiting new cadets, my entire staff gets involved with coming over and interviewing those cadets so we can move them through and get them screened and ready to serve the children in your community. So the need for funding is great, and Big Brothers Big Sisters has really been hit hard over the past several years. We've had decreases in our funding from the Office for Children and Family Services. We've had decreases in funding through United Way. We have had decreases everywhere, but we're still surviving, and we do that through a lot of fundraising. Last year, our organization fundraised $117,000 to keep the county-wide program going, and the portion of the program that we have here in Highland Falls. And that's a huge amount to face every year. We're constantly writing grants. We're constantly trying to seek new resources. But the funding that comes right from the community resonates back in the lives of the children that live here, and the children that will make an investment back into your community. So I ask you to continue to support Big Brothers Big Sisters, and support it even more with more funding if you can allocate those greater dollars to us. I really want you to hear from some of our volunteers, Mayor, so if we can...
Yes, you had mentioned your mentoring manager?
Yes.
Rachel Franco?
Yeah, Rachel Franco.
If any of you want to come up to speak, please do so. The officer in charge,
Come on
Sergeant
up.
Eldricken.
Yeah.
And cadets Penrell and Moore. One of our big brothers, one of our big sisters in the program.
These are two dynamite volunteers. 3 years of service, 4 years of service. So think about that. When they came as a plebe to West Point, they began to get ingrained in your community by giving back as mentors. And our officer in charge, Sergeant Elkin, helps to be our pivotal point of coordination of services. And Rachel Franco is our on-target communicator every day, working with the teachers at the school, Ms. Papper at the front office, making sure the kids are in school, communicating back with our cadets to see who's going to be there that day at the school. Because we're there 2 days a week, that we're over at the school on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So after school program. So tell them about your experience, if you would.
Yeah, so I've been paired up with a student at the intermediate school, Jeremy, and it's just been a rewarding experience. Going there like once a week, last hour of the day, we just show up and like whatever he feels like doing, we'll go play sports. I'll listen to him play the flute. I'll go to his play practice, and just being there. And I know it means a lot to him. just me making the time and enjoying the bond that we have between each other. And it's been a really rewarding experience. Definitely helped me find meaning here in the community and at West Point.
Then I've been with Ashley Bennett for 4 years now. I don't know if any of you all know the Bennett family, but they're amazing and very supportive. And Ashley and I have just developed and had an amazing bond. And it's been great to see her actually grow from a young woman now to an older woman, and to see like the maturation level. And it's just really great because it brings me back to my childhood and how I needed someone there to develop me. And I've always had an older sister and a mom, and Ashley has her older sister and her parents too, but now she's got like someone else in the community in West Point who kind of serves face in a uniform who can inspire her to reach further. I also wanted to recognize Nancy, if I could do so now too, because she's been a great part of my life as well. She's served as more of like a mentor for myself too, so we actually have a bag of goodies. So I wanted to present this bag to Nancy. And Nick, can you hold that please? From all the bigs and one from all the littles. But we know that coffee mugs get old, so I wanted her to have a water bottle. And then when she's home alone on the couch doing whatever she might be, she can be supporting the Army team.
The reason,
Navy,
the reason for this is I am retiring from Big Brothers Big Sisters after 38 years. I've decided it's time for me.
So we just thought that that'd be a great opportunity for us to recognize Nancy and her role in the community.
Thank
so
you.
We just wanted to say thank you to her.
This is just totally unexpected.
Thanks for allowing us to do that.
And I personally know that mentoring works because I have my first little sister is 42 years of age, and we're still in touch with one another. And my other little sister just Facebooked a message to me the other day to tell me that she's graduating with her bachelor's degree on May 21st. So I'm just so proud. And it's when someone can become the wind behind a child, to lift them up, and it pivots them forward. It really does. And every child needs a champion in their life, and a mentor can become that. Sergeant Elderkin, do you want to say a few words?
They've really painted a good picture of what the program does for the community. And I've been here for a very short time, newly assigned to West Point. I look forward to the next 2 years of working with the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. But in the short time that I have been here, you really see what an impact it has, not only on these children, it's really a two-way street, and on the impact that it has on the cadets as well, and having that strong bond and that relationship between each other. And it's an outstanding program, and all the support we can get, we'd really appreciate.
Rachel, you want to say anything? Sure.
I'm also new to the staff at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know all of the cadets and just seeing when I come to the school every day, and I have a nice 15-minute window with the kids before the cadets come, and it's the best part of their day, and they are able to come and have a sense of peace once the cadets come, because they know that they have someone that they can talk to, spend time with, and just, it's true that a little bit goes a long way. And I can totally see how transforming it's been for some of them, because you don't know what goes on at home or behind with their peers in school, and that's something that is could be a very serious issue that these children deal with today. But having someone that can create that supportive outlet that they feel comfortable to open up to, and seek comfort when they can't do it with their own family maybe, or wherever, it's been really awesome to see, and I can't wait to see it for years to come.
Thank you. Quick questions?
Well, we brought Nancy here on the ruse of speaking about her budget, but it's really because after 38 years she is retiring, and she promises that someone will be in to take her place, but nobody will take her place like what she's done here for the village. And we want to thank her, and this is for you.
Thank you so much.
I've worked with Nancy for many years before the political thing with her bowl-a-thon mainly, and that is coming up. This will be your last bowl-a-thon officially.
April 3rd.
April 3rd, and again, putting it out to the community. Any businesses that businesses from all over the county participate, 4-member teams, 4 to 5-member teams per group. If a business wants to get involved and represent the village and town, please do so. We have a contact for Nancy. And you don't have to be a business to participate. Your family, a couple of friends, it doesn't matter. It's during the day. It's a great time. It's right in New Windsor. And we really like to see some groups from the village and the town represent us on Nancy's last official bowl-a-thon. We want to give you that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The real reason for being here is we want the program to continue. So please continue to support our kids. Thank you.
We'd like to welcome everyone here today. Are there any comments, public comments on agenda items? All right. Liaison reports. Fire?
Fire. Chief Smith has submitted a very detailed report that's in your packets. I'll highlight some items. The summary of fire department responses for the month of February is attached. We have had an extraordinary number of calls. They've exceeded, for the first part of this year, anything that we've had over the last 10 years. I think we're well over 35 calls. One notable response on February 17th, we were dispatched to a young woman's home where she had been on an extension ladder. It collapsed on itself and wedged her foot in the ladder. It was a very painful situation. She was stuck halfway up. Firefighter Jesse Marvin climbed adjacent ladders and was able to free her foot, which apparently was broken. It was an excellent save on the part of the fire company, and also we were supported by the police and Town of Highlands ambulance on the scene as well. On training, we've had trainings for gas and carbon monoxide emergencies. These represent a very large number of the calls that we've been having lately. We've also made use of the former Pointers Echo Motel for hands-on training. I would also like to note that Lieutenant Lynn Rush has successfully completed Fire Officer 1 class, and 2 members of the company are embarking on EMT recertification and certification training. Let's see. In an effort to be part of shared services, some surplus fire department equipment is being turned over to other departments in the village that can use some of the now outdated hose for firefighting, and also some of our gear can be used in other departments. A very important thing is that the chief has met with new building inspector Bruce Terwilliger, again about interagency cooperation. And Bruce has already passed on information found during inspections that could be potentially hazardous to firefighters if we were ever called to those sites. So that particular relationship with the town is proving very important in providing advance warnings for our calls. And I think that's it, although I should note that the paperwork for Arla James, who we were approved pending her medical examination for firefighter duties, that has come in, so she will be our newest member in the fire company. That's it.
Police?
Board. Come in to face the camera.
Please.
Don't mind my rudeness. Nancy, that's a hard act to follow, and we've collaborated and worked together with Big Brother, Big Sister when I was a youth officer, and I've been to the bowl-a-thons, and they're really fun, and I'm going to open the invitation if there's anything that we can do. I know it's been a while since we've worked together, but I'll let your folks know that, reach out to us, and if there's anything that we can help out with, we'd be certainly happy to do that. Now, since my liaison's not here, I'll give the monthly report for the month of February 2016. In that month, we had a total calls of 1,405 blotter entries from our dispatch. That involved 20 misdemeanor arrests, 8 violations, and 2 felonies for a total of 30 arrests. Summons written, parking and meter tickets was 79, traffic tickets was 155, and then 4 appearance tickets for a total of 238 summonses. For revenues, it was $2,162. We've been collecting meter collections almost weekly now, just trying to make sure that we're checking the meters, and that's why you see in there it's a 500 for the month. It was a slow month coming out of winter. The meters are bringing in less revenue, but we hope to see an increase soon. The village board had asked me to look into some of the public relations things that the police department has done or plans on doing, so I want to touch on that a little bit. I'll start with the youth, because Nancy was here with Big Brother and Big Sister, and like I said, I've collaborated with Big Brother and Big Sister, and it's a very good program. A lot of people, if they have never experienced it, it's an immeasurable product that comes out of it, because you really don't see it right away, but the impact that it has on the children, I see it. I've been doing this for 19 years now, and I've been part of the program and helped out, and you can definitely see the difference. So with the youth, we do the DARE program. I think that's the best program we got going, because you touch every 5th grader in the community, and I was a DARE officer for 10 years, and I got to say, I got students that were in DARE when I first started. They're now graduated college, and the bridges that we built, they still come up and talk to me like it was just yesterday in the classroom. So that's a program that we continue. We have a new DARE officer now, Officer Brandt. She took it over, so we're looking forward to some good things from her. We started the bike helmet program last summer. Not only were we looking to make the parents accountable and provide free helmets to the kids, but we also want to find a way to reward good behavior. So we're going to work with the local businesses to see if maybe we can get some free food like ice cream or something, and when we do see somebody that's proven that they're following the law, we're going to give them a certificate. We've collaborated with the school, with the intermediate school. We do the Family Fun Night. I think it's a great program, and we've joined that last year. This was our 2nd year, so I got a chance to attend that. And we did a mock crime scene. The kids, they seem to be very interested in that kind of stuff, so we look to continue that kind of support. We did the National Night Out, which was nationally recognized. It was the first year that we actually did it, and it was a success. I remember many, many years ago, there was a small group that tried to get it going, and it wasn't too successful. We had a turnout, but nothing like last year. So we look to at least provide the same amount of services at National Night Out that we did last year. And then for the fall foliage, we always have an information booth set up, and that's another way just to be seen out in the public, not in a hostile type of way or during an emergency or crisis, so people can come up and talk to us if they have any questions, comments, or concerns. They stop by and they see us. The kids love it because they come up, they might see the DARE officer there. So that's just another way of connecting with the youth. We got the senior citizens, a very important group. We go in there and we talk to them about scams. We know the banks go in there and other organizations do, but we like to give them the law enforcement perspective of it. And we also like to talk to them about a program that we have called Project Good Morning, where they can sign up, and what will happen is we'll call them every morning. Our communications will call them. If they don't answer, you expect a police officer at your door knocking on it. And we won't stop until we find out where you're at. We also talk to them about the File Life. That's a program that was started many, many years ago, and it's just a way of putting all their medical information on a simple card, and there's a sticker that they put on the front door, so when we get there or the medical services get there, they know that this person has they're part of this program, and they can go right to the refrigerator, pull out their medical information, so if they're unconscious or unable to talk to us for whatever the reason is, all that information's right there on that card. And then we like to hold yearly, we like to try to do a luncheon or dinner, but normally it's a luncheon where we'll meet with the seniors. It's just an open discussion, just to get to know them, talk about our programs, what their needs are. So if the File Life isn't enough, the Project Good Morning, the scams, what else is it that we can talk about? We want to know. We want to hear. And then for our businesses, something new, we do business checks. We've been doing that for many, many years. That happens overnight. So the officers are checking on doors, checking your business. So if they see something wrong, we investigate it, and if need be, we contact the owner. We want to start something. Let me just touch on the community advisory group. That was started last year. It's been very good. It's not as well attended as I'd like to see, but hey, we hold them once a month regardless. So there, we talked about starting a Coffee with the Cop program, and we want to start that very soon. So we'll go to businesses in the morning, we'll pick a business, and it'll just be an open forum. Cops will be there, maybe the coffee will be on us, maybe it won't be, but we want to have another opportunity to engage the public. So I've been asked, well, what if an establishment doesn't serve coffee? Well, then whatever their menu is or whatever the needs are. See, now that the weather's getting nicer, we try to put out as much foot patrols as we can. In the winter months. It's a little rough, but we only put 2 officers out, and as you heard from some of the numbers, there is a high demand on the 2 officers. So as often as they can, they are doing the foot patrols. We try to look to increase the number of officers we have in the summer months. I used to be part of the mountain bike patrol. Very, very good PR mechanism, and it's also good for fighting crime, because I can't tell you how many arrests I've had off the bikes where people just, they just think you're a couple of people riding a bike, and as soon as you get up to them and they see the uniform, they're like, wow, police officer. But that's something that costs more money. The officers need to be certified. There's training that they have to keep up with. There's equipment. The bikes aren't cheap. Back when we started the bike patrol, everything was done by donations. But like everybody, Nancy, I'll attest to that, the money's tightened up. But we always try to find ways where we can, it's a good program, so we'll see if we can revive that this summer. Press releases. We do press releases. We try to keep the public informed. Some of you might have noticed that late last year we started a police blotter. Thank you, Mary Jane, for facilitating that. So at least every 2 weeks we put out a police blotter, and that lists down all of our arrests. No matter how minor or how serious, it's listed. So you heard there was 30 arrests in the month of February. February is a busy month, so all those will be in the paper. I'll tell you who the person is, where they're from. I won't go into specifics exactly where they live, and I'll tell you what they were charged with. Our webpage is pretty informative. If you haven't been on the HighlandFallsNY.org site, go to that, click on the police link. There's a lot of other links on the police page, ways you can communicate with the officers, email me or whatever. If you want to talk or you got something to say, go on that website and it'll give you the tip line number and etc. And last but not least, that's all I have for now.
Thank
Any
you.
questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, Mary Jane.
Your text messages.
Oh, thank you very
Alerts.
much. Yeah, we do the e-alerts.
Officer Brandt was packing food backpacks for kids at the middle school the other day. You deliver meals at Thanksgiving to families.
Oh, yes, we do the presents
And
during Christmas.
Christmas.
I knew I
And you
forgot
raise
some.
money for St. Jude in the fall for No Shave November.
Thank you, MJ. And there's probably more that we both missed, but I only have a limited time, so I want to get everybody out of. Hopefully, I think the village board said they only need another 15 minutes of your time tonight. Thank you.
They brought up the e-alert. That is something that's extremely important, and it's not just available in the village. The 911 alert is available for the town as well. I can't stress enough how important it is that you get on that list. I believe that transcends now over to rec. I know that he is also doing informational alerts on text. But if you are not signed up, you will not get the alerts. So please, it doesn't cost anything. If you have a cell phone, you will get the alerts. If you don't, it'll actually come over your laptop. So please, if you have not signed up for these alerts, go to Village Hall and sign up. For town residents, go to Town Hall.
You do it right online.
Do it right online.
And vice versa. Town residents can do village.
Correct.
And village residents can do town.
Treasurer.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Treasurer's report for March of 2016. The revenue expense control reports were provided for all the board members. I am seeing that the freeze that the board initiated last month is starting to show, and that's a good thing. The spending and the bills and claims are obviously for high priority items. So that's important, and we just keep that up and things will look a little bit better as far as budget. Contract negotiations with Public Works are ongoing. We have a meeting this Thursday, and we're trying to get to the 8th or 9th inning on those negotiations, so hopefully we'll be able to make some more progress. The 2016-17 annual village budget meetings are in progress also. We will be meeting after this meeting to discuss further items in the budget. I would ask the board that probably after tonight we'll need 2 sessions, so Wednesday and next Monday, and I think we'll be able to get it all wrapped up then. If we do need to use the, if necessary, Wednesday next week, we can use that. I have to submit the tentative to the village clerk by Friday. Technically it's Sunday, but business day would be Friday. Okay, so would like to see if we can finalize things over the next 2 meetings after today. I provided all the board members with the refinancing that we just did for serial bonds and the bands. That was all successfully completed last week. The $970,000 bond anticipation note has a interest rate yield of 1.16, and the public improvement serial bond, which is a smaller bond of $262,500, has a increasing scale from 0.8% up to 2.45% over the history of that bond. So that's being processed well as far as our overall debt service. And what that also does is it removes all bond anticipation notes for the general fund. So you don't have any more bands. It's just 3 serial bonds that remain. The bands are all on your special districts, which we should be able to accelerate over the next couple of years to try to get that debt paid off, just under $1 million worth of debt. Okay, so that's going in a good direction. And as long as the board's able to hold off on borrowing money, which the board's done very well over the past couple of years, we should start to see further erosion of the debt service, which would be great. The fiscal audit, I'm still awaiting that report. Hopefully I'll see it here soon. The auditors are a little bit backed up, so they request just that we just be a little bit more patient, and we'll have a report for us. And the New York class accounts are available for review. Last board session and budget session, we had the reserve funds laid out as far as how they are per fund. And I will ask the board to take action next month on the budgeted amounts for this fiscal year and allocate those amounts to the respective reserve funds. And that pretty much wraps up the report. Any questions on treasurer?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, board.
Wastewater.
Wastewater for the month of February. Average volume of wastewater treated was 726,000 gallons a day at 4.1 inches of rain. Facility met all speedies and New York State permit limitations. Pellwood, Webb Lane pump stations and Havens Roads checked regularly and operating properly. Approximately 9 tons of digested sludge processed through the belt filter press and disposed of by SpectraServe Inc. Belt filter press in operation 7 days. 40.5 cubic foot of grit screenings removed by TAM. Chief John Jones attended department head meeting on the 17th. Perry from Peak Power Systems performed a semi-annual preventive maintenance service on all 3 generators, one at the main plant, Pellwood and Webb Lane pump stations on the 18th. 2 men from the sewer department worked with the street department repairing sewer lateral on Fort Putnam, broken during water excavation. 1 man from the sewer department was shared with the water department and street departments repairing water leak on Villa Parkway. Prepared at the plant for painting the facility 9 days, the prep work for the painting. A maintenance and lubrication of pumps, motors, and machinery as required. That's it for February.
Thank you. Recreation.
The only thing I have is the March 19th is the annual Easter egg hunt, starting between 9:30 and 10, lasting until about 11. Also, the creation of a lacrosse program is taking signups right now. Also, round 2, no pun intended, of the boxing program is taking registrations now. Other than that.
Excellent, thank you.
Could I have one announcement?
No. Okay.
The fire department pancake breakfast is coming up on Sunday, March 20th. Excellent food.
All right, did everyone catch that, the 20th? You'll be there? All right. Yes, you are. Okay, EDC. At this time, I'd like to ask Barbara Minetti to come up and talk to us about the Economic Development Corporation.
Hello, everyone. About a month ago, I was asked to serve and lead the part of the Economic Development Corporation that will have to do with developing Main Street. I'm excited about this. There's going to be a lot of energy. The first thing that we plan to do is to look back and learn what ideas and what plans have been made in the past. There are a lot of good groups, residents like Mr. Graber who have been here forever. We had a good plan done many years ago. So the committee is going to be on a learning curve so we don't reinvent wheels. We can see what good plans there are that have already been laid out and where we can dig in. One important thing we've laid out is that we're going to need to have priorities. We cannot do everything at once. We have to figure out what can be done sort of in order. What do you need to do before you can do something else? So we're not expecting to overturn the earth all at once. So that will be part of our learning curve too. One of the biggest things right now is we need volunteers. This is going to be a huge task, and the more dedicated volunteers we have, the more we can get done. I want to make an organizational chart with tasks so you can know that if you do volunteer, here's a task you can do given the amount of time you can participate so that you can contribute realistically. A few things we've talked about so far. We want to bring together our community in terms of what we have to offer and make it present. We have history, we have beauty, we have green, and we want to just bring together a theme and enhance what, you know, the way we offer the community. We want to work with the historian, for example. Look forward to a kiosk, a visitor center, that sort of thing. We already have people bringing in great ideas. So I guess that's good on that for the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I need to bring up a representative from the chamber. Ms. Barbara Minetti.
Putting on the second hat. Okay, I'll speak tonight on behalf of our wonderful new leadership team of the Chamber of Commerce. I was elected secretary in January. Jim Maudlin, if you know him, is the president. Tom Osa, who's been here for years as the president, is now going to continue in a very strong role as vice president. And Elena Dianosi of Navy Federal Credit is going to be the treasurer. So we have had two great meetings, the first at Thayergate Hotel, Thayergate Deli, sorry. 36 people were present at our January meeting, 29 in the new Piper Pies this past Friday. All of our meetings are going to be first Friday of the month at 4 o'clock. So hopefully you can put that on your calendars and just make it easy. And we'll have a business of the month. We're going to have it in the up and coming section in the News of the Highlands. We'll have it on Channel 23 to announce which particular business will be hosting that month. We have a new email address. It's tohchamber@gmail.com. It's too long to put Town of Highlands, so we just put TOH for short, toh@gmail.com. We are already planning many events. You'll have to come to a meeting and you'll just see the agenda and you'll get already excited about things that are up and coming in the village. I won't, in the town, I won't go through all of them. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Well, I guess that'll be good for that. Oh, one thing, I'm sorry, Ken. For those of you who have not been involved in the chamber for a while, come check it out. And to encourage you to come, if you're new or haven't been here for a long time, we're having a membership drive, and membership is free this year. Totally free. So just come check us out.
Oh,
Ken?
first off, thank you for stepping up and taking so many roles. The website, is there a link on the village webpage and the Town of Highlands webpage? Do we know? I didn't see one made.
I'm going to make a note of that. I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I just heard it. I just got the address.
Okay.
They just changed the address, so now that it's there, we'll make the link happen.
Okay, good. Yeah, Tom Osa, the web designer, is working on all of that. Okay.
With the EDC and the chamber, I had mentioned to Barbara that I would just give a quick what the difference is, because there's a Main Street Revitalization group on the EDC, and then there's the chamber. What don't they deal with Main Street? Yes, they do. They will be working together, but they will have separate responsibilities. The EDC is more for getting grants and larger tasks. The chamber is more dealing with individual businesses, helping to promote commerce throughout the town with its events, with its, promoting businesses, things like that. So the EDC is working on a much larger scale of projects for Main Street, such as facade grants, signage grants, things like that. And with that, I would like to bring up Kathy Keene, who is on our EDC as well, and she is actually in the middle of working on a beautification project for her street.
Hi, I'm Kathy Keene. I live on Cooks Lane, and I'm basically working on a project. We found corporate sponsorship potentially to put banners on our street, and basically it labels the street with a nice picture saying Cooks Lane, Highland Falls. I thought that would be a really good step because it helps make the block look nicer and more inviting to visitors, and so we're hoping that will definitely be big help for the block. And then, do you want me to talk about the park?
Sure.
Yeah, and I have a secondary project that I'm working on with Memorial Park. We may have gotten a grant through Home Depot. They have a program, it's called, it's a community development program where they come in with volunteers and supplies and materials. So basically they're willing to come in and paint the gazebo, put flowers, and some other possible things. So we're going to work with Vision on that, and they're going to work in tandem with that so we can make that really nice. And that's it so far. And then I also worked on another program with the town. For years, basically what would happen is if somebody wanted to sign their kids up for rec, for summer rec, and if they didn't have the money, the town would actually go and pay for it. So I alerted the rec department that there's a program through DSS. So if a person's on temporary assistance or SNAP, their child could get free summer camp. So I helped the town set up getting a vendor ID number. We're going to get the application, so when the parents come in and apply for rec, That way they can apply and get money from DSS instead of us taking it out of the town's pocket. So it kind of helps out a little bit, you know, everywhere. And also working on, I'm contacted West Point to see if they would donate some flags because we are a college town. And my hope is, like, during college graduation, we all, you know, dress up the place, make it look nice. So I was hoping that they would donate some flags to decorate, like, Mountain Avenue and Veterans Highway, so we could make it look nice, you know, so when the parents come to pick up the kids, you know, it works. You know, we're basically, like I said, we're a college town. We act that way, and then maybe they'll want to come down to the businesses and spend some money. You know, if we look good, they look good. That's how it is. So, that's it.
Thank you, Kathy. I thought it was important you bring Kathy up because, no, she is not a professional grant writer, and no, she has not gone to school to get these kind of things. She is a person in our community that has made a decision that she will make a difference. She has gone out and taken time, and in a very short time, she has done several different programs that I believe are going to affect the community greatly. I wanted to come up because I want people to realize that you don't have to be a doctorate in writing to help us write grants. You don't have to be trained to go to these places like Home Depot, Walmart. We have hundreds, and now granted they're not right in the village, but we have hundreds of corporate entities surrounding us that will donate. We just have to ask. We just have to be, and we have to get organized, which is why we're asking everyone, not so much everyone to go out and run around and do it, but be a part of either the EDC, the chamber, or one of the other existing groups, or form another group that's what you do. But this way we all coordinate together so we're all on the same page and we don't have 10 people going to one place and no one going to the other 20. So I think it's a great start, and I look forward to continuing the process down the road. All right, moving into, with no other questions, we'll move into Mayor's report. On the Mayor's report, we still, I believe in the sticker program. I really, really do. We have sold a mountain of stickers this year. Way too many to count. But I can on my one hand. It's 4. We've sold 4 stickers so far. Maybe 5. Maybe a run went today. I'm not sure. But I think one of the big problems is people don't know about the stickers, even though we've advertised them in the beginning. So we're going to work on advertising them more. What I'm asking the board to do is to have the price for local community members to $25, and that is $25 for the year. And to get a ticket for not having paid the meter is, Ken? $25. So by getting a sticker, that way it equates to 1 ticket for the entire year. So we're asking residents to do this, one, because we don't want you annoyed. The police are putting as much time as possible into the caretaking of the meters, but they cannot keep up with it. There's always going to be a broken one. There's always going to be a full one. There's always going to be something wrong with them. And I have run into too many residents that really get upset. They get upset, not so much mad, but they get flustered and scared that they're going to get a ticket. They don't want to leave their car there, and they can't put a dime in because it's broken. With a sticker, that solves it, and it solves it for the year. We're not telling people they have to, but we're trying to make it easier for both our officers to move along a traffic area, spend less time doing that, and easier for the people of the community. You don't have to worry about it. You come in, you go out. There is still a 2-hour time limit on a parking space. You can't, because you have a sticker, does not mean you can stay in that parking space for a week at a time. It's a 2-hour limit, and the reason for that is to move the traffic along Main Street so that the businesses can flourish, so more people can come in and utilize the area. We are trying to put that out more. We'd like to do as much possible. Tell your friends. We're actually going to work on also a group rate, where if a business has 10, it's minimum 10, but if a business has 10, I would like to ask the board to go to $20 per sticker, which is a $50 savings, but we get 10 stickers out in one shot. And So again, this is to hopefully alleviate some of the parking issues on Main Street. That I'm going to leave into discussion, and after discussion, we'll talk about a new business. I just want to touch on the welcoming banners on Cook's Lane. We do have pictures of them. Kathy's working on them. The one thing that we will have to provide if we approve the banners going up is the labor to actually do that, the DPW. And that would be 4 banners, putting it up on the street. So I want to introduce it tonight. I'm going to get you guys some more visuals. And then when we get the banners in, I want them to go right up because we'd like to see it happen immediately. So we'll get you some visuals, and you guys, you've seen them?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Have you seen the, okay, we'll make sure everyone gets them so that we
need the
can.
bucket truck to get the town involved.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll let Gary's put them up here, and he's put them up with the town's assistance. So I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. But again, I really want to put it out to the community that Kathy actually did this before she even got in the EDC. So it's not something that, you know, she was very concerned about her street. She wanted it to be as beautiful as possible. She wanted to do everything she can to make it look good. Pride. That has got to be a theme for this year, where we have pride in this community. And that means every street, you can make a difference on your street. Get involved. If you don't know how, contact us. We will help you.
I'm also trying to see if I can get some sponsorship too, like if we do a spring cleanup weekend, maybe get a big store or hardware store to give residents 10% off when everybody, you know, a little paint, it goes a long way. And I mean, I know it's tough out there. We're living on one income, but we try. You know, what's a can of paint? It makes a big difference. It really does. So if we do that, we can make it great again. I really do.
I agree.
And I figure by me doing my block, then maybe another block will want to be done, and it does help. And if we didn't get corporate sponsorship, what we were going to do was a bunch of us were going to get together, chip in, and then donate the signs. You know what I'm saying? So that's an option too, that Peak residents could do, because I think the signs are about $75 each, and I only need 4. And if there's 10 or 12, you know, divide that amount, you know.
Right.
You know, it didn't come out to that much, really. I mean, it came out to like people, you know, $20, $30, and you know, it definitely makes a big difference.
I agree. Thank you. The other thing for just now, moving down to discussion, and then we will vote on the. I want discussion on the stickers. If anyone has an input, but also talking about the possibility of fees for municipal parking lots as well. So discussion on the stickers. Is there any discussion on having a $25 for a local and $35? We're lowering a little bit, but we're not selling any tickets, so.
Yeah, as long as there's no objections from council that charging somebody from out of town more money.
No, that's fine.
Okay, then I'm fine with it.
I'm good.
Okay. Paying for fees for municipal parking lots. With the oncoming construction for 1.5 years, we need to consider the use of particularly Lot 2. The fact that if we don't have some kind of plan in place, the lot will be overrun 7 days a week.
How would we administer this? What are we talking about? A permit fee or parking meter or?
I personally am not looking to put in major cost like the meters. I'm not looking for that. What's done, if we have something set up, depending, what's done down in the city, with those meter boxes, before that, they actually had a place you would go to. This is something we have to discuss. We have to talk with Ken and the police. The police are open 24/7. Do we make that the spot? People can go, get their thing, put it in their windshield, and they're good for parking in the lot. I don't know.
How long do you think this project's going to go on? For a year?
They're saying 1.5 years.
2 years? Okay.
It'll be 2 summers. It'll finish, if they start, when they're saying they're going to start now, it'll finish fall of 2017.
My only concern is the farmer's market with all the parking and...
I'm not really concerned about the farmer's market at all, because I'd actually talked to people at the farmer's market. Basically, what's got to happen is I told them not to request a portion of the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
They
that's
need
how
to
you did
request
say
the
it.
entire parking
Right.
lot, because in the past, where we didn't have an issue with parking, most people coming into the farmer's market would park in the little section that the farmer's market wasn't using. If we leave that open, somebody else is gonna take all that spot. So if we have it all cordoned off just for the farmer's market, during the farmer's market time, then I think the farmer's market's not gonna have a big deal. Farmer's market parking only in that little section on the end that they usually don't take up because they don't have people.
Right.
That's just a thought. Again, we have to have discussion. Ken's gonna definitely have major input.
Yeah.
He's the one that's gonna be out, his group is gonna be out there doing it. So, but those are thoughts right off the bat. The farmer's market's key, the weekend itself is gonna be key. I don't see that the visitor center is gonna have any real overnight people. Those are people that are coming in for 1 to 6 to 7, maybe 5, 6 hours max, and they're gone. So I don't see the visitors group itself taking spots in the lot 2 that are gonna be like overnight spots, and now we're gonna have an issue with the farmer's market. You know what I'm saying? But that's, I mean, for the most part, Ken's been able to, I've seen it rarely that there's a car in there blocking anything during the farmer's market as far as an overnight. We just have to, and Ken's been doing it for years, mark it with the right signs, block it off, and make sure people understand.
I have a question, though. Apparently, the Academy plans to start working on the new visitor center immediately after graduation. Do we have a current law in the books that limits the number of hours in that parking lot?
24 hours.
Does that need to be changed in order to prevent excessive abuse by construction?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to make some kind of amendment to the law. If we're gonna give it a 2-hour limit.
I think we need to do that sooner rather than later, because
Ken, in your discussions with Colonel Dunham, have they talked about the construction people parking somewhere else and having the area in front of the south post for the visitors? Because it's still going to be open during this construction, just so people understand that. Visitor center, all of this is still going to be open.
The plans that he showed me, and I showed him at the last department head meeting, there was an area for the construction equipment and
Right.
stuff. I don't know if that included the employees.
I don't think it does. I think
That's something we need to talk to Colonel Landy about, possibly, depending on how many employees they're looking at, possibly having them park somewhere else being shuttled in. Because then they're definitely there for lunch, which is great. They gotta walk across the street rather than go back to their car.
that's a good idea.
But that would alleviate at least that. Then the people that are coming in to visit, that could be the lot. I don't necessarily want to give up lot 2 to the construction workers, and then where are the visitors gonna be? They're gonna park all on the outskirts and, rush back to their car. But that, if you could bring that back to Colonel Landy and see if there's a possibility of having, out by 293, wherever, a parking area for them where they're shuttled in, because most of them come in at the same time. Just again, so we can facilitate an area for the people visiting South Post. Because I mean, our lot 2 is not really an issue unless there's an event during the week. It's
Yeah.
not used that much at all.
No, I'm just curious, the amount of cars that this project will generate. I can't even guess, I don't know. 100? Could it be? I'm not sure.
It definitely could be. The other issue that we have to deal with is the busing. We have to sit down with Jerry Brisman and find out exactly what his plan is, because what's been talked about is the majority of the buses will be down where the RVs are now, but West Point Tours was looking to actually load their buses up in front of their office, which is where the ice cream shop is. So are they loading them up, crossing the street on the same side? I mean, they have 2 to 3 bus parking spots there, but a lot of times the school buses are there. I mean, I don't see it being an issue as long as he doesn't have the school buses there. They all fit inside or somewhere else. So if he's using that area to load his people in, that already has the bus parking, then to me, that's not a big problem. We have to meet with Jay Britzman and make sure exactly what he wants to do. Again, making sure that Ken's involved, so he agrees with whatever the plan is. and then we move forward.
Yeah, maybe we could set up a meeting with Ken, West Point, and Jay for, see what his plans are, and we get an idea of just how many buses and his strategy on his move, where he's planning or thinking he's planning.
All right, Ken, can you set that up with Jay? At least you, me, and Jay Brisman? And then if the Garrison Commander can make it, that'd be great. If not, we have to at least know where what Jay is looking for the for West Point tours.
Maybe we should invite the deputy garrison commander, since the garrison commander is going to flip
Even better.
over soon. Tom Cohen.
Cool. All right. Any other discussion on the?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I did take a look at the village parking lot law. There is a little glitch that does need to be fixed.
Of course there is.
But essentially, what your law allows is for you to do what you're talking about in all of your designated municipal parking lots, including 2. Unfortunately, the provision that allows that inadvertently, I think, refers to a different provision of the law. So if you're going to update this, you should just fix that little glitch. Also, the commissioner, the police commissioner can, by regulation, establish other rules. So.
Need a list of those.
Well,
No,
you just, so when you have this meeting and
Right.
when the board considers this, you might want to think about what other things you might want to do. It won't take a local law necessarily, but you do need to fix this one little glitch.
If we consider doing any kind of a charging for parking in the lots, does that need to be part of the new law that we're talking about?
No, you can already do that.
Okay.
The only problem is, what your code does is it defines, okay, these are our parking lots, and it names 1 and 2 and 5.
Right.
Right? And then it says, these are subject to fees, right? And then it goes on to say that that the parking lots described in subsection 41 can be charged fees. Unfortunately, 41 refers to something that it has nothing to
Got
do
it.
with it. Okay, so it should just say 42. Just a
Okay.
minor glitch, you can fix that easily.
Good to go. So we really need to be doing that in April if we do any kind of a fee schedule. So let's get some information. We'll talk about it, and then in April, we'll make a decision what we're gonna do. Because if it's gonna start in June, we wanna make sure that we're ready for it, okay? With that, and we have the, did everyone get the letter from Bob Summers?
Yes.
Okay, and you looked it over. He approached me again. He didn't have a chance beforehand, but he approached me and he did want it discussed at the board meeting for us to consider. The fact that Bob says that he couldn't get on the site to make the payment. It's my understanding we did check and make sure that you were able to get on. It may have been something from his end that he wasn't able to get on. So because he wasn't able to get on and pay, his payment was late. And it was a decent penalty, and he's asking for us to waive the penalty.
In regards to, what was the penalty for?
Water bill.
Oh. You know how I feel
Bob?
about that. I've just, everybody's got the same date as we do. It's responsible for it, and it's late, it's late. It's that simple.
I thought you were talking about all the other
Nope.
material.
Talking about the water bill right now.
Oh.
I agree. We all have the same time frame to pay it.
Right. I think that I think it's very important to do the online payment. And I think that we just need to make sure, which I believe our clerks did, and that's to make sure it's accessible. I think what we may want to put out to the community is, I know everyone wants to wait till that last minute to save that last dime, but to avoid fees, you may want to make sure you pay it a day or two earlier. Double check, it's in, great, because if the site isn't working on Tuesday and it's due on Thursday, you can still come in on Wednesday or do something about it. But I told Bob that I bring it because I think it's important that we work the kinks out. I think that we're pretty much handled on it. I think the best thing to do now is to encourage people, don't wait till the last minute.
Right. On that matter too, I spoke to the building department on the other issue, and that's in the works as far as the property dispute.
Oh, okay.
So that's,
Excellent.
the building department's handling that aspect of his complaint.
Good.
Okay?
That's important.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Moving down to new business, if we can start with parking stickers. To have the parking stickers for local residents at 25, 35 for non-residents. Resident being the town, not the village. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Sorry. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. Approval of minutes written regular board meeting February 16th, board meeting February 17th, special budget meeting February 22nd, budget meeting February 24th, budget meeting February 29th, and budget meeting March 2nd. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
You do?
Second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to authorize me to sign the paperwork necessary for the chemical application of permits for Roe Pond management. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it for discussion.
Okay. Discuss, yes?
Oh,
No, there doesn't need to be a second, you just.
Is this,
We motioned on it last meeting, this is to actually do it. We motioned to sign the paperwork, no, we don't need a second.
okay.
Okay.
It's the same
Technically you do, but.
deal that we've done before.
Right,
Yeah, okay, that's it.
okay.
I'm good.
Do I have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign paperwork necessary for chemical application permits for Roe Pond management? Unless there's any other discussion.
Nope. I'm
Didn't we
fine.
get the paperwork?
That's what we just said.
I'm
We
sorry.
authorized the actual, getting the paperwork, now we actually have to authorize the actual act of doing it.
Got it. Okay.
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The LED streetlight survey.
This, Elise, you're okay with this paperwork as far as we changed that time frame in there?
Yes, I thought that was reasonable as we
Okay.
discussed at the last meeting.
All right, this whole project starts with a survey. The survey consists of how many streetlights we have, wattages, locations, redundancy. Some lights probably may not have worked or we don't need. The survey will show all that. And once we have the amount of fixtures and that, there's a significant savings here. The town of Ulster just has a project, or just completed a project, which is similar in number. They had 350 lights, I think ours is 342. Their bill was $91,000, and they have a savings of $65,838. So that's, yeah, that's big. There's other numbers here. I mean, you have to buy the fixtures back from the utility company and pole rental and things like that, but the savings is somewhere between 65 and 70%. The failure rate is less than 1% on the fixtures, and even if we get ESCO or somebody else to do this, we get a couple prices. We can get it through them, or we can get financing through NIPA and design. There's a million different options, but we can't really go out to bid or know what we're talking about unless we have the survey done. So I'd like to make a motion to have the survey done from ESCO to get this rolling.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's an excellent program, Bob. Thanks for following through with that.
Okay, no problem.
I need a motion to request for training, the clerk's office, Anna Margaret for the retirement seminar in Poughkeepsie. No cost, request mileage reimbursement on the 6th of April. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to complete the probation of Jonathan Hurtado for dispatch effective 10/15/16.
I'm sorry,
15. 10/15/15. So last October. Do I have a motion to, basically it's completed, but we have to just officially move. Do I have a motion?
Were we waiting on something on this?
No, this is
Kenny?
for dispatch.
Oh, okay, fine.
We hired him,
Yep.
he's just off probation.
Okay.
So he really has been off probation
Yes.
since October, okay.
Correct.
All right,
Do I have a motion?
You do,
Bob, do I have a second?
yes.
second.
You give me a second too? I like that. All those in favor?
You're both.
I dig that.
You like that?
Opposed? I need a motion to appoint a part-time police officer, Daniel D'Alessio, at $21.35 an hour with maximum probation. You have the paperwork in front of you. Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll move. I spoke to the chief before. Everything came back good.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to authorize the signing for Stop DBOI enforcement contracts. You have the paperwork in front of you. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the developer's agreement with Churchill Properties, the old guard, and Pervious Pavers maintenance agreement. Questions?
Jim, these pervious, what's the maintenance involved on these? I mean, it's,
I spoke with council on the way in,
right?
and we need to add some, be more specific
Right.
about the maintenance compared to what the agreement is.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of vague and I don't know what's required of them.
Well, on their plan, it calls out for paved drain,
Right.
so we have to double check to make sure, and that would be, the engineer should let you know that, to make sure that's what they're gonna be using. And then as far as maintenance on that, you should do a bi-monthly, right after installation, to find out what kind of infiltration you're actually getting.
Right.
And then that will...
Establish a program from that point, and then you can establish a need for, at that point.
That's correct. And right now, I believe in your maintenance agreement, it says once a year.
Right.
So you should follow the protocol of the manufacturer,
Right.
right? Go by their specs. And just so note that in the paver agreement,
Okay,
that, you know, whatever the paver spec is, and I think that should cover it.
okay. All
Jim,
right.
have you had a chance to look at these? The agreement and the paper thing?
Well, as far as the developer's agreement, that's the board's document. I don't think it changed that much from the last one that you guys
Right.
approved.
So you're good with
Or
that?
the approved old guard.
Right.
They came in for, you know, an amended site plan, which was substantial, and
But you're concerned about the paver thing?
the pavers, I do have, just so you guys know, if you want to look at it after the meeting, I have some information here. Do you really
Well,
want to look
my
at it?
question is, only because between you and Elise, you're the two professionals here, in your opinion as the planning board, are you comfortable with this document? You were saying we need a couple of possible changes so that we are better protected.
You just have to get one of these. Look at this, make sure they're using the paved drains. As long as they're using the paved drains, this has all of the maintenance required in it.
Can I see that?
Sure.
So do we,
Can we do the agreement?
I would suggest that that you table the agreement until the next meeting,
Okay.
because clearly the planning board chairman is concerned
Right.
about the pervious paver agreement that was put together, so.
development agreement we can go with tonight, correct? Or
Well,
you wanna wait on that too?
the problem with that is that the developer's agreement, this is the pavers is an attachment to the developer's agreement.
Okay.
So you really want to wait, and I would just ask the chairman to reach out to the applicant and let them know that this is happening, and then if you can communicate with the village engineer and myself as to how, you know, what kind of language you would like to see in that pavers agreement, then we can modify that and you can look at it at the next, at the next one,
And
yeah.
I would suggest that I don't know, has the village attorney also forwarded the developer's agreement and the pavers agreement to the applicant yet? So he can review it?
I did ask Teresa to forward
All
that
right,
to
so
him.
that's going to speed up their process, because I don't want to see it slow it down. And like I said, as long as they abide by what the manufacturer specifications are, I don't have a problem with it. I think green
I just wanna make
infrastructure is
sure
a
we're all on
wonderful
board.
thing.
That's all.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think another 2 weeks is not going to make a difference.
There you go, and I agree. Let's double check and make sure they actually saw it. They're good, so we only have to pass this once.
Right.
Excellent. Any other, does anyone have a problem with that?
Nope.
Everyone's good with that? All right. All right, moving on, the budget amendment to increase A2770 miscellaneous revenue and increase A7550.040 celebrations 10,000 from Time Warner Cable to Village to cover 4th of July expenses. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to transfer $10,000 from general fund to workman's comp fund for replenishment of account. Do I have a motion?
You do?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve temporary road closings for the Easter egg hunt, Saturday, March 19th.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the bills and claims for the fiscal year 15-16 in the amount of $110,863.92.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Couple quick announcements before we go into public comment. On June 25th, and Ken is already on top of this one as well, is Bike for Cancer. That's a group that's looking to come to the village, a couple hundred people, and have an event here. So we're looking at that possibility. We'll be working with them. On June 15th through the 21st, the Warrior Games are coming to the community. West Point is hosting the Warrior Games, and that is June 15th through the 21st. We also have the Hudson Valley Special Olympics coming shortly. And 1 second. We have 90 cadets that are looking for something to do for 90 minutes. And I am looking for the date in the beginning of April. And I have a couple of ideas as far as a possible cleanup. They're looking to come into the community and help us with whatever we need, but they have a short window. It's an hour and a half on a specific day, and I am trying to find that paperwork. There it is. April 2nd. So if there's anyone out in the community that is looking for any assistance on April 2nd during the day, 90 cadets are looking to come in and give us a hand. Please contact us. Even if you only need 10, you need 20, we can break them up. Okay? And we want to thank Alex Worden for reaching out. They do it periodically throughout the year, but Alex sent us an email. I want to thank him for reaching out to us and letting us know that they want to give us a hand. Yes.
Can these cadets do something like brook cleanup?
I believe so.
And is it under our insurance, or does West Point insure the cadets?
That's under West Point. That's
Oh,
not
good.
under us. They're just coming in. They're not under the village flag. They just want to know if there's something in the community that we could help with. It doesn't have to be an official capacity. This could be an individual, particularly a senior citizen, that may need some help with their yard. You know, we could send them 10 cadets. But we're trying to maximize their time here. So if there is anyone, if you know of somebody else that needs it, don't wait for them to call. Call us, give us their number so we can contact them. Particularly if it's somebody that really needs it, that's been holding back because they don't think they want to ask anyone for help. Okay?
What's the date on that again?
April 2nd.
April 2nd.
And are we supervising them in any capacity?
No.
Okay, just checking.
If they want to do a brook cleanup, then they would come with us and do a request. And we would work with them, you know, it's a closeness of time and, you know, insurance and whole nine, so we would work it out. Any other questions on that? No? Public comment? Yes.
First of all, if I could just make one amendment on the chamber report in terms of the enthusiasm. We already have 3 committees, an arts committee, which Trustee Murphy is chairing.
I'm on it, I'm not chairing it.
Almost had her, you almost had her, Barbara.
Well,
very close.
It's a good one.
And volunteers, and then also a welcoming and events committee. We just put the word out, we need 3 committees and volunteers, 11 volunteers, just right away without twisting any arms. So the group really is enthusiastic. And then I wanted to thank Chief Scott for your report. I'm so glad to hear all the things the police department is doing in the community. I was only able to go, Tuesday's not a good night for me, so I can't go to the community meeting, but I think in terms of relating and communicating with the people in the community, it's so great. And also I'm glad to hear you're checking on businesses, because I know there are some people who have food businesses that open really early in the morning and they're there by themselves and they're worried. So I think it's really good to hear some of the good things that you're doing. And I was sitting here thinking about comments I've heard both from the economic development side, the chamber, and for me as a resident. I think it really would be great to see you guys walking on the streets and on the bikes. Your presence on a daily basis, on a spontaneous basis, you're an important part of the community. I grew up in the days where the police were the good guys, and I think for you guys to be accessible right there is a very good thing for the community. It's helpful. It's also a good way to find out what's going on in a daily basis, you know, just see people, talk to them. You know, having coffee is great too, those kind of things. But I would strongly support you guys being on the street. And for the purpose of economic development and tourism, when we have visitors come in, they see this is a welcoming place, it's a safe place, it's a helpful place. We have great residents who help people in need across the street, but it's always good to see your officer there too. And so I had a question. Is there money in the budget for this? And I've turned around this way to ask that question. And bikes are expensive. I'm a cyclist. My husband actually builds bikes, and you can spend $5,000 on a mountain bike. You can, you know, and on down. You can get good ones. But to have the kind the police would need, you know, would have to investigate. You know, you can get them with so many gears and all sorts of things. So I just had the question, is there money available now?
Don't we have 2 already?
Well, let me answer the first one. Yes, there is money put in the budget each year for bike patrol and or walking patrol. It's a small amount because of budget constraints. In New York State, the governor's office has a property tax cap, so we're all feeling the pinch. And yes, we do have some old bikes. They're probably close to 15 years old now, but it would take a little bit of money to get them polished up.
Chief, how many guys we have certified?
Top of my head, 3. I'm one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember those days.
Before I forget, March 12th, Saturday, 10 a.m., Memorial Park, the raising of the Irish flag. That's March 12th, 10 a.m. Raising the Irish flag. We're honoring 2 community members this year, Bob Mellon and Charlie Murphy. I can't think of 2 people that I would look to more, particularly in the Irish community, for the work that they've been doing, not just here, but in the community in general. But to see the work that they've been doing in the last couple of years, I'm very honored to have them raise the flag for us. And that's Saturday, the 12th at 10 a.m. The following Saturday, we are possibly looking at, did we get the insurance for that? The parade?
Yes.
Okay. We are looking, keep an eye out. We're 90% there. The first annual St. Patty's Day Parade will start at Memorial Park and make its way down to the Thayer Gate Deli parking lot. Time, noon on the 19th. So the pre-show, pre-game, March 12th, flag raising. And then the parade on the 19th. Other public comment. Jim.
Evening, Mr. Mayor. So we've been working on the zoning portion of the code book. So far we got that much, and that's a small piece of that book, very small. We really need to start to discuss some of this, and I hope I can sit down with the board, because it's a board decision, where we can look at the proposal and our code and see what has been taken out and what has been put in. And then we can edit and say maybe we need this in and maybe we don't. So
if you guys have already gotten to that point, we're just finished budgeting over our budget meetings over the next meeting in a week and a half. I don't know if we can go into multiple meetings. I don't know if I'm going to get hurt if I have multiple meetings every week. But if we can start with you picking out what you think is the easiest or the whatever you feel, let's do the emails and then we'll set it, and so we can get a look at it first, and then definitely set a meeting. I would like to start
right after the budget.
Yeah, I'd like to start doing them a couple at a time, if at each meeting. Or did you want to do them like in bulk?
it's only one section that we are working on at this point in time.
Yeah, but I'm looking at that folder, not thinking it's short.
It's not, and it's not a one-day, couple-hour thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
What we would do
Then we
is,
break it up.
well, you start at the beginning of the zoning portion of the code book. We'll open up our code book and we'll open up this proposal. And then we can go page by page until we get tired. And then we'll set up the next meeting. And it really is that simple, but it has to be that tedious. We really need to look at it because there's a lot of things in the book, as council has pointed out, that don't seem right. And then I had some concerns about the intermunicipal agreement that I keep seeing floating around for the consolidation. I have concerns with this, and I'd rather talk to the board, executive session possibly about it, or possibly at the budget meeting.
Either or.
One of the next budget meetings, if you wanted to go over some of the planning, because I don't know if the town board has that in their budget that they passed. They used to have it, but they took it out to allocate that money back into the library, which was a great thing. But they're gonna have to find that other money now to up the cost. And there's things that are missing out of that previously proposed budget that they took off the table that I really think are important that we need to go to as far as stormwater classes.
Okay.
You know, the book changes constantly, and you know, that training provides board members, whether it's our board or the consolidated board, updates on all of these new rules and regulations, and that gives us a better opportunity when we review plans that come before the village.
Next budget one's Wednesday. Is that good for you?
Next Wednesday?
This Wednesday. 2 days.
2 days. Sure.
Done.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are we going to do? See Jimmy after the budget meeting?
Yeah, well, before or after.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Any other public comment? At this time, I would like a motion to move an executive session, discuss specific individuals and personnel matters. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Thank you, everyone, for coming.